Greetings, blessings, brothers and sisters. It's me, Lori Ann Spagna of LoriSpagna.com, here today to chat with you a little bit about healing and healing everything. The first thing I want to say is that we are all infinite God source creator beings. We're aspects of one divine source. Even if you're a scientist, you can identify that source as the quantum field, right? You can identify that source as the field. You can identify that source as what science now refers to as the God particle. You can be a scientist and still recognize that this source is infinite and we are all part of it. So it doesn't really necessarily matter what your religion or spiritual practice is. If you're an atheist, it doesn't matter either, because you can be an atheist and believe in science and still recognize that there is an infinite field of potential, and that this infinite field is all there is, ultimately, and it consists of what might be identified as matter and antimatter. All that is, physical and non-physical. Spiritual is all that is. That is a spiritual identification. So regardless of what your belief system is, or your ideology is, what I want to share and contribute is that everything is healable. Everything is resolvable, because when we recognize in this infinite field of all that is, and all that is source, the source of all that is, this infinite field, we are part of it. This field ultimately vibrates at frequencies, energetic frequencies of love. And that our job is to restore ourselves to vibrational harmony with the frequencies of love. So if in your current state of being, you're vibrating at your frequency, and at your frequency, you may be experiencing things that seem to be not love, whether it's some form of fear about the future, fear about money, fear about our life, fear about Earth's reality, fear about the government, whatever it is. Maybe it's anxiety about money or your life or what you're doing with your life, or if you feel like you haven't found your right mission or purpose. Maybe you're having some kind of unhappy or unpleasant experiences with relationships, power struggle dynamics, maybe with family, loved ones, friends, colleagues, bosses. Maybe your physical reality is showing up some form of dis-ease, whether it's dis-ease of a physical form of extreme or something a little more mild. Maybe it's some kind of autoimmune disease or whatever it is. All of this is part of the whole, and all of it is a calling to come back into vibrational harmony with love, with the love that you are, and that is available to you, that you are part of in this infinite source. And so you're meant to come into harmony with the frequency of love and the frequency of joy that you truly are. And this is because that is really all there is, ultimately. That is the frequency of all that is restoring itself now. We are part of that. So this is why I say everything is healable. It doesn't matter if you have money issues. I know I once did, and I really don't anymore, because everything is healable, and I've healed and resolved that within myself. It doesn't matter if you have lovability issues, if you think you're unlovable. I got onto this journey because I felt that I was unlovable. My ex-husband divorced me. My family ostracized me. I was the black sheep in the family, and I needed to find love. I was in search of love, not love from another human, love within. And when I discovered it, this is how I started on my healing journey. And this is how I know that everything is healable. If you feel that you're unlovable, or you feel unloved, or you feel like you're not getting or feeling love, this issue is healable and resolvable within you, because the truth of who you are is that you are love. That's the truth of who you are. That's what's emanating from the core of your being. And you just have to come back into harmony with that vibrational frequency. Let's say you have career-related issues. I know I did. I spent 20 years out of college going from job to job, being miserable, crying every night about how miserable I was in all my different jobs. I couldn't stay in any one job for very long because I was never happy or content. I wasn't fulfilled in those jobs because I wasn't aligned with my true divine mission, which was ultimately to become a healer and an animal communicator and an Ascension guide, an intuitive, an energy worker, which is what I do now. And this is why I know everything is healable, because when you find and align with your right divine trajectory, which is the best version of your life, the most benevolent, best experiences for you in your life, you will find your right divine mission naturally. It will align. You are aligning with it, and it will align with you. And this is why I say everything is healable. If your animal companion, if your animal companion, by the way, or any of your animal companions are having any health-related issues, that's healable too. Because again, that's just energy in and around the field, the environment of your animal that is now embodying through your animal, that is causing or contributing to them being in any form of dis-ease, right? Whether it's physical or behavioral with your animal, right? So that's healable too. Trust me, I've had lots of animals in my life, and I've worked with so many animals using these gifts, talents, and abilities that are natural and innate within us. Everything is healable. Everything is resolvable. Maybe you're lonely. Maybe you've been isolated for, a lot of people have, obviously, with lockdown for 2 years or more. Maybe you feel isolated. Maybe you're coming into more of your light, and the people around you in your environment don't necessarily understand. So maybe you feel lonely and isolated. I know I grew up as the black sheep of my family. I was ostracized from my family lots of times. I would go off as a way to protect myself and be, alone for 2 years, living in Maui, knowing no one, or be alone in France for a year, living by myself, not even speaking the language. I did this. This was a pattern in my life. I go off and move to another state or country, Sedona, for a year, where I didn't know anybody initially. Like, this could be an issue for you if you're alone or lonely. I promise you that's healable too. I'm living proof. Maybe now I have wonderful relationships, by the way, with my family. I've worked on this for the better part of my life. It's incredible. Everything is healable and resolvable. Maybe you might have experiences where you feel undervalued, and you maybe that's reflecting in your reality, maybe because you're being underpaid, or you're not being fairly compensated at work, or maybe you have money issues or wealth issues because somewhere in your unconscious perhaps you may feel undervalued, or maybe the people around you don't usually say thank you, or they don't necessarily express how much you matter to them or how much you've helped them in your life, or maybe they don't acknowledge or recognize you, or maybe they aren't honoring you because somewhere within you feel undervalued, or maybe you feel under-acknowledged or unrecognized or invalidated. Maybe the people around you have invalidated you. I know I had that too. I had to work on that within myself. It is healable. It is resolvable. Maybe you have people around you or situations or circumstances where you feel you're being punished. You might even feel that you have bad karma, or that your astrology is preventing you from having the kind of experience in life you want, whether it's a soulmate or success of some kind, or health-related issues. You may feel that your astrology or your karma is keeping that from you. Lots of us super sensitives feel that way. I felt that way too for years. I have worked on it inwardly within myself to heal and resolve it. This is how I know everything is healable. Everything is resolvable. There is no reason anymore for any of us to be sitting in any form of pain, sadness, or upset, grief, or suffering. If you have a physical disease, I remember at one point my thyroid was off, my hair was falling out, I was 65 pounds overweight, I had all kinds of health issues. I was going into doctors for help, and they were pumping me full of big pharma drugs, which just made things worse. I couldn't sleep through the night. I couldn't wake up in the morning. I couldn't exercise. I was out of energy. I had no energy. I was depleted, exhausted, and drained. I had anemia for a little while. This stuff was all healable. I healed my own thyroid issue. People tell you can in the Western world. Everything is healable from a spiritual perspective. Energetically, this is spiritual healing. Everything is healable. Everything is resolvable. And from my perspective, I just don't want people or animals to suffer anymore needlessly, existing in an old paradigm that tells us these things are unhealable and or unresolvable. I just want to say also, if you have some form of mental dis-ease, such as depression exists because people typically who have or experience depression are going in the opposite direction of the light that their own higher self, their own divinity, and their own soul is calling them to. So they're in the opposite direction, and they're looking into the dark. They're like, there's no light here. I'm depressed. There's only shadow, right? This is how they feel. There's no hope because their higher self or their divinity is over here saying, hey, I'm over here. You're just facing the wrong way. You're going in the wrong direction. Come over here. Once they realign with their own light, with their own higher self, with the direction for their own soul, depression is completely healable. And I know this because I was diagnosed years and years ago while I was working in corporate America, so miserable, buying into that old paradigm. I was diagnosed with depression, which is why they had me on, part of why they had me on so many pharmaceutical drugs, which is why, part of why my thyroid was off, which is why I was so overweight, which was why my hair was overweight, was falling out, which is why I couldn't get to sleep, which is why I couldn't wake up in the morning. All of this stuff was tied into that. And as soon as I started to align myself with my right mission, my right purpose, my higher self, follow my own trajectory, work with my inner feelings, my own energy, and heal and resolve these issues, I never needed that stuff again. It all was gone effortlessly, never again in my life. This is why I know everything is healable. Depression is healable. Another thing, anxiety, panic attacks. I used to have those too. That was part of what those pharmaceutical drugs were supposedly helping me with. They never really helped me personally until I got aligned with the energy healing, spiritual healing that I learned to do for myself and others. Anxiety is simply a message that you're overtaxed and your sensitive nervous system is overworking and you're out of alignment with the natural flow of the light and the love that's meant to flow in and through you, through your own divine core pillar, your own channel, your own vehicle. Now, when you start working with that, healing and resolving and clearing out that energy, all panic attacks and all anxiety is healable. We just have to work with effortless energy of the higher non-physical realm of this divine source that is infinite and omnipresent and always available to us. I can show you how. I will show you how. You will not only be able to heal and resolve it within yourself, but if you stick with me, you'll learn how to do it for yourself too. You'll learn how to do it for others as well. So I promise you, everything is healable and everything is resolvable. And that is what we're here for at this time on earth. And you are meant to come back into alignment with the divinity that is within you. And I will show you how. And you will love it. It is so effective and so powerful and so potent. I am very sorry that our Western medicine in the old paradigm has refused to acknowledge how effective this kind of work is. It is so effective, it is so valuable, and it is spiritual, metaphysical healing, working with the non-physical, working with our own unconscious, working with the multidimensional reality, which is real in the quantum field of all that is. And that field is infinite love. And we are part of it, reunifying with it, and reawakening it from within us. It's within you too, just as much as me and everyone else. I hope that you will join me so that you can also do this healing on yourself, so that you no longer need to experience any form of pain or suffering, so that you can align yourself with your most benevolent best. So I hope you will join me. The next live healing event is at my website at LoriSpagna.com under the group Healing and Training event. The next live event is on Monday, September 26th. You definitely don't have to be there live to benefit. You will get the recording when you register and join us. It will blow your mind away how effective, easy, beautiful, and graceful it is, and how quick it can happen when we're working with the non-physical realm, where this love heals all, where this transmutes, these frequencies transmute all of this old density that we've been carrying around and experiencing. Everything is healable and everything is resolvable. So please head over to LoriSpagna.com and join me for the next group healing and training event. The next live event, as I mentioned, is on Monday, September 26th. If you're unable to join us for that one, I do hold them regularly. The next event after that is the speed activations, the DNA activations, which is on November 11th. That's the 1111 Master Portal. That's where we work directly with our DNA to heal and resolve whatever has been stored up in our DNA through our bloodlines and our ancestral lineage. This is also a form of spiritual healing, and it is real, and it is effective and powerful, and it is so easy compared to some of the old paradigm Western allopathic medicine tools, which for me personally were never very effective. So I hope you will join me again over at LoriSpagna.com under the Live Events tab. Please do register and join us. You will love, love, love spiritual healing. It's so powerful, so effective, so incredible, and I will show you how and help you. I'm really looking forward to sharing this time and energy with you. Again, it's at LoriSpagna.com under the Live Events tab. Register and join us, please, for the next group healing and training event, and also for the next speed activations and DNA activations webinar with sacred key codes, star code marking activations, and divine templates. You'll learn more about that in another video, of course. I hope to see you at both of those events. This kind of healing is truly transformational. Everything is healable, and everything is resolvable. I love you so much. Until next time, farewell.